Bienvenidos worldwide fans of cinema. You got Jaime En Fuego here, and I once again have a very special lady reviewer with me, Ms. BRANDILYNN BAIN. Gracias for joining me.
You're more than welcome.
Awesome. So we're talking about a Disney movie that broke tons of records, made a buttload of money, and we just finally got around to seeing it now. The Jungle Book.
If you can't learn to run with the pack, one of these days you'll be someone's dinner.
I can't help but notice there's this strange odor today. Man is forbidden! Run, Mowgli!
That's right, man. Jon Favreau, he jumped back into stuff of the fantastical variety. He was great with the first Iron Man, second one, nah, I'm not so sure about that. But he went and did some personal stuff like his Chef film, where he was back in front of the camera, and now he is returning for a Disney franchise that they've been wanting to remake live action for a while. And they finally achieved it. And here in Enfuegotainment, we always like to do the BUENO, the MALO, and the FEO, which is just my little tropey twist on some good, some bad, and some ugly. And it's a nice neutral way to, you know, tackle a film as well. So the Jungle Book, some good stuff about it. I loved the visuals, and I loved some of the voice actors that they chose to go with. But I want to hear this lady's opinion. So first and foremost, what stuck out to you as being great about this movie?
Just the CGI. I mean, considering that the kid, like we had talked about, was the only actual live human being in the whole film, it was pretty fantastic. From the water to the plants to the animals to the hair on Baloo.
All digitized.
Yeah. It was fantastic. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I was surprised, actually.
Yeah, and so to piggyback a little bit, as my homeboy Cecil would say, on Mr. Baloo, voiced by Bill Murray, couldn't have picked somebody cooler to rock that particular character and really be funny and endearing and all that stuff. Now, there were certain other voice actors that, well, I thought greatly cast, were underutilized, but we'll save that to the latter sections of this. But yeah, I thought Bill Murray was great. I know you got really excited when you saw the orangutan being voiced by somebody in particular. Did you dig that?
God, I love King Louie.
He's fun. Yeah.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
He's not as menacing as a Shere Khan, obviously.
No, but it's still, I was waiting and I was waiting and I was waiting, and finally when King Louie was introduced, I was pleasantly surprised again, especially visually. Wasn't what I expected at all, and I think it was done very, very well, incredibly tastefully, and I was impressed with King Louie by far. Out of all the animals, I think I expected a lot from the film in general, but when it came to King Louie, that wasn't what I expected at all, and it kind of put me on the edge of my chair and made me watch a little more intensely.
There you go. Yeah, and that's the thing, because, you know, in the original 60s Disney animated film, he was really foreboding, and I really feel like the way they digitized him in this was great. All of the villains, all of the animals pretty much, with the exception of a few, which I will save for later sections, but most of the main ones at least all looked like photorealistic practically. It shows just how much this technology visually has really improved in just our lives alone, right?
CGI's intense.
But those characters would not have come off as humanly. Christopher Walken as Louie, fantastic. Bill Murray as Baloo, tremendous. Idris Elba, I thought, was great as Shere Khan. You know, he brought some menace, and he's actually going to be a gunslinger very soon, so we'll just have to expand on that further. But is there anything else good you'd like to mention before we jump into some negative stuff about it?
Before I get negative about it, I would
some
say,
lacking things.
ScarJo is Caw. Fantastic.
Really? So I can actually use that as a way to segue into the MALO and the bad. I felt like some of the voice talent was underutilized.
Wanted more from her. We didn't get as much as I would have wanted to. I agree.
Truly, and that's the thing, is that we're gonna not like super spoil anything, but you wanted more from certain characters, hers included, and whereas in the actual Rudyard Kipling source material and in the original animated film, much more prevalent of a character. And
right, and it was male, and so now that Caw became female, as ScarJo, I definitely wanted more. I expected more, but I didn't get as much as I wanted.
Yeah, well, I mean, the same could be even said for Louie a little bit, or for all of the characters. That's another thing that I can say is I felt like the film in general was just a little too short.
I do feel like the film was short.
Yeah.
It was definitely, it felt short.
And it was still over 90, and it just could have gone longer, and that's a sign of a good film. This was not just a good film, but a great film, in my opinion. You know? John was doing his thing, man. Great job, Mikey. You're all grossed up, dude.
Well, to speak on the MALO, that's another thing I would say is that I thought it was bad that there wasn't as much music. I know that it was live action.
We had 2 of the songs.
Yeah, but they were even snippets. They were small. They were very, very small. And I feel like that could have definitely been embellished on, and I know that it was a major theme. Even in the film, they used bare necessities throughout this film, but
almost as a score, like thing, coming back
you
to the
heard me
melody.
singing the King Louis song before, as they were introducing King Louis before we even saw.
I want to walk like you,
and,
talk like you,
and I'm going do 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 in the theater.
You're wiggling.
But I feel like the music does really make it as the Jungle Book. So just that little snippet here and there, I felt like it wasn't as fulfilling. There could have been more, so I'm gonna say that was my MALO. That was bad. More music next time.
Yeah, there you go. And like a last MALO bad thing that I can mention is that it did feel like it was geared to kids at times, you know, as opposed to like the whole nice rounding and encompassing, you know, family thing. Some of the dialogue that I was mentioning, just the way the animals were talking, very, very modern-esque, and it was almost kind of like pulling me out of the time and the place of the narrative, maybe. And that's an easy way to segue into the feo, the ugly stuff, is that I actually felt like since this whole environment's digitized, right? All the animals and, you know, the backgrounds and the environments and all this different stuff, I did feel like when certain areas and certain animals looked a little faker, it almost pulled you out a little bit as well. Anything kind of like that going on?
I agree with that. Towards the end, when there was this major catastrophe, so
the
for
red
those
flower.
of you who don't see it,
We
no,
will say.
not the red flower, not even the red flower, precursor to the red flower, actually.
Okay.
Landslide.
Okay.
Landslide at the temple. Sorry if that gives away too much, but
Yeah, Stevie
landslide
Nicks
at the
fans,
temple.
we apologize.
It did actually look a little sludgy, not as realistic as I would have hoped for, especially with, you know, Kajira being there and Baloo being there. It looked out of place. It didn't look as clean as it could have. And I again, could have hoped for more. But in the same right, I'm still really impressed considering it was as detailed as it was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is us fishing for things at this point. And there was actually one last ugly thing that I can mention. Uno mas feo, guys, is that there's some death in the film that we're not gonna let it be known who it was, but I think for young kids, especially for some of the like chippy, silly dialogue and stuff, and they're obviously trying to appeal to a younger demographic in a lot of ways, but there's some scarier moments. I guess there were those in things like The Lion King and others, but when these animals look like animals, you know, when they look real and there's that primal, you know, killing involved, it's not prevalent necessarily, but when it's there, it's kind of it stands out. It really gets the point across, and it might scare some younger audiences if you're bringing the little ones. So yeah, I know, something like that. So yeah, as a whole, I was very, very much enjoying this film, and I'm sad that it was so late in the game that I actually got the chance to scope it out, but I'm glad that I saw it on a big screen. It was fun, and it was just over too quickly because I was having so much fun with it. I wanted more.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed, especially when the red flower came, things got very illuminated, so to speak, and I felt like it could have been more intense than it was. It was very short with the climax at the end of the film.
It was, and that's the thing about ebb and flow and pacing and stuff like that. And you know, hey, Disney has made a buttload of money over the course of this year with stuff like Zootopia.
I'm not
this
complaining.
film, Dory was just you know, shattering records. So yeah, it's been a marquee year for Disney, and how cool would that be if they actually went back and did something like The Lion King in this manner?
Oh.
I think they shed some you know, possibility. Who the hell knows? But I would be up for that. That'd be cool. Mufasa. So I gotta extend a grande gracias to this crazy chick for talking this film with me. It was a load of fun, and you can always check out myself, Jaime En Fuego, here on my YouTube channel. We've also got some Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and all those social media sectors. You can always hit me up there and talk film, cinema, hot entertainment with an edge, because that's what we always do here on Enfuegotainment. Gracias once again to Ms. Brandilynn for joining me for this one.
Thank you for having me.
Gracias. Great job, great insight, always appreciated, and I look forward to seeing all of you Cinemigos once again very soon. So until then, hasta luego, but let's make it sooner rather than later, and Disney, bravissimo. Great job.
Adios.
Peace.